Before he became the legendary leader who recaptured Jerusalem, Salahuddin was a young man whose courage, discipline, and faith would change the course of history forever. In 1137, Salahuddin was born in Tikrit. He was born that this child would one day become one of history's greatest military leaders.
Soon after his birth, Salahuddin's family left Tikrit and settled in Mosul. There, surrounded by scholars and warriors, the young boy began a journey that would shape his future. Unlike many future rulers, Salahuddin spent his early years studying the Quran, history, poetry, and the art of leadership before becoming a warrior.
As he grew older, Salahuddin mastered horseback riding, swordsmanship, and military discipline. Every lesson prepared him for the challenges that lay ahead. Greatest strength was not his sword, it was his character. Even as a young man, he was known for humility, discipline, and respect for both allies and rivals.
His abilities soon caught the attention of his uncle, Shirkuh, one of the most respected generals serving Nur ad-Din. A new chapter of Salahuddin's life was about to begin.
Under Shirkuh's guidance, Salahuddin learned that true leadership was built on wisdom, patience, and responsibility, not just victory in battle. In 1164, Salahuddin joined his first to Egypt alongside Shirkuh. It was the mission that would transform a young officer into a future legend.
Egypt was facing political chaos, and powerful enemies surrounded it. For Salahuddin, this campaign would become the first toward a destiny that would one day lead him to Jerusalem.
In 1164, Egypt stood on the edge of collapse. Rival factions fought for power, while the Crusader kingdom of Jerusalem watched for the perfect moment to invade. Nur ad-Din sent his trusted general Shirkuh to Egypt, and Salahuddin marched beside him. It was his first opportunity to prove himself on a battlefield far from home.
Egypt's political crisis quickly turned into open conflict. Salahuddin witnessed real warfare for the first time, where every decision could determine the fate of a kingdom. Although still young, Salahuddin remained calm under pressure. His discipline, courage, and tactical thinking quickly earned the respect of Shirkuh and the army.
The campaign ended in victory for Shirkuh's army. But for Salahuddin, the greatest reward was the experience that would prepare him for far greater battles ahead.
Over the next few years, Salahuddin returned to Egypt on further campaigns. With every mission, his reputation as a capable commander continued to grow.
After Shirkuh's death, the young Salahuddin unexpectedly appointed as the vizier of Egypt. A responsibility surprised both friends and rivals.
Many believed Salahuddin was too young to lead Egypt. But with wisdom, patience, and careful reforms, he soon proved that leadership is earned through actions. Salahuddin strengthened Egypt's army, restored stability, and gradually united the country. His growing power would soon attract the attention of the Crusader kingdom of Jerusalem.
From an unknown young commander to the powerful Salahuddin's rise had only just begun. He would face the Crusaders in a struggle that would decide the future of Jerusalem.
In 1174, the Muslim world faced uncertainty, but Salahuddin saw a greater purpose: to unite the divided lands.
Rather than seeking power through endless wars, Salahuddin used diplomacy, alliances, and patience to bring many Muslim territories under a single leadership. By the late 1170s, Salahuddin had united Egypt and much of Syria under his rule. For the first time in decades, the Crusader states faced a powerful and organized rival. Tensions continued to rise as Crusader raids targeted Muslim caravans and border settlements. Salahuddin believed that lasting peace could not exist while these attacks continued. The greatest provocation came from Raynald of Chatillon, whose repeated attacks on trade caravans and pilgrims violated truces and pushed the region closer to war. Salahuddin sought to avoid unnecessary bloodshed, but after repeated violations of peace agreements, he began preparing for a decisive campaign against the Crusader kingdom of Jerusalem. In the summer of 1187, Salahuddin gathered one of the largest armies of his reign. The decisive campaign had begun, and both sides knew history was about to change. To draw the Crusader army into open ground, Salahuddin advanced toward Tiberias. The strategy forced his opponents to leave the safety of their strong fortresses.
Under the blazing summer sun, the Crusader marched across the dry plains toward Hattin. Exhausted, thirsty, they unknowingly walked into Salahuddin's strategy.
On July 4, 1187, the two armies met at the Horns of Hattin. One battle would decide the future of the Holy Land and forever change the course of history. As the sun rose over the horns of Hattin, Salahuddin's army surrounded the exhausted Crusader forces. The decisive battle for the Holy Land had begun. Salahuddin ordered his mounted archers to strike first. Wave after wave of arrows rained down, keeping the Crusader army under constant pressure.
The intense summer heat and lack of water weakened the Crusader army. Salahuddin's forces tightened the encirclement, leaving their opponents with fewer options every passing hour.
As the Crusader formations began to break apart, Salahuddin launched a coordinated cavalry assault. The battle was rapidly turning in his favor. The Crusader army was surrounded. Their commanders attempted a final breakout, held ground, and gradually overwhelmed the exhausted defenders. As the battle came to an end, King Guy of Jerusalem was captured. Salahuddin's greatest victory had opened the road to the Holy City. Among the prisoners was Reynold of Chatillon, whose repeated attacks on caravans and pilgrims had helped bring the region to war. His fate marked one of the most remembered moments of the campaign. With the Crusader army defeated at Hattin, the road to Jerusalem lay open. One by one, towns and fortresses surrendered to Salahuddin's advancing forces. By September 1187, Salahuddin's army reached the walls of Jerusalem. The city that had remained under Crusader rule for nearly 90 years now faced its greatest challenge.
After a brief siege, Jerusalem surrendered peacefully. Salahuddin entered the holy city with discipline and restraint, marking one of the most significant moments. The recapture of Jerusalem echoed across Europe. In response, kings and nobles launched the Third Crusade, determined to reclaim the holy city.
The recapture of Jerusalem echoed across Europe. In response, kings and nobles launched the Third Crusade, determined to reclaim the Holy City. Among the leaders of the Third Crusade was King Richard I of England, remembered as Richard the Lionheart. Two of history's greatest commanders were now destined to face one another. Although they became legendary rivals, Salahuddin and Richard the Lionheart never fought each other in single combat. Instead, they faced one another through strategy, diplomacy.
Despite years of fierce warfare, both leaders earned respect for each other's courage. Accounts describe exchanges of gifts, medical assistance, and diplomatic messages during the conflict.
In 1192, after years of exhausting conflict, Salahuddin and Richard agreed to the Treaty of Jaffa. The war ended, pilgrims were allowed to visit Jerusalem. Only months after the Treaty of Jaffa, Salahuddin's health began to fail, leaving behind a legacy that would inspire generations. When his belongings were counted, the Sultan, who had ruled vast lands, left behind only a small amount of wealth. His generosity
More than 8 centuries later, Salahuddin is remembered not only for his military victories, but also for his justice, mercy, and leadership. His name continues to inspire people around the world.
From a child born in Tikrit to the liberator of Jerusalem, Sultan Salahuddin's journey became one of history's greatest stories of leadership and perseverance.